Hello. Welcome to part 2 of the Toby block. I'm Slyfincleton. This is Spider-Man 2, Pizza Percent. And I think you're in for a bit of a treat. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Uh, Countdown. Starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So the movement of this game is quite different from something like Toby 1. Uh, as you'll be immediately aware, there's no more swinging from the clouds. It's all actually swinging on stuff. And movement of this run in particular is a post-game category, which means that I have access to every movement upgrade in the game, whereas any percent only have, say, 6 swing speed upgrades. I get to level 8 here. And the movement of this game is just absolutely insane. There's not much else to be said about it. So, in this category, it's just 20 pizza missions, plain and simple. And while I've been explaining how this category works, we're already a couple pizzas in. So it gets going quite fast. Despite those 20 missions seeming a little bit daunting, it goes by like that. We're already on Pizza 3. And a common theme throughout this entire run is whether to go over or around buildings. Here you're going to see me go over building. I'm going to try to just kind of go for a quick wall sprint over this one. Land down here. Oop. Don't quite give them the pizza. Sometimes they don't like to take it right away, you know, they're not quite ready. Give them the patience they need. What you just saw and probably heard was me flipping the pizzas, which, you know, that's the meme, right? You don't flip the pizzas. However, I will be flipping the pizzas on purpose to save time throughout this entire run. Generally, the best time to do it is right when I'm about to land. I'll flip the pizza to get my jump charge so that I can deliver the pizza and be right on my way to the next customer, because we don't got time to charge or jump. Right there, I went for a swing boosted, frame perfect trick to actually swing right over the building. Very happy with how that turned out. Then I'm going to be kind of going slightly over and slightly around this building to kind of set up here. I have a specific swing I'd like to get. Kinda got it. I'll be talking more about the technique I just used in a minute. But for the time being, we're already at Pizza 5. Fourth of the way through, although definitely not in time. You might have noticed these get increasingly more ridiculous. This category is somewhat infamous for just the ridiculous people that are ordering these pizzas and the predicaments that they're in. But for the time being, it's pretty normal. I'm kind of like taking this long road to line up with this guy. Get him his pizza. And I'm gonna go for like a little alley here, swing through there. Straight to this one. And then swing back. We'll see. Right there. What I just performed is known as a glide. It's basically a technique where I miss a swing on purpose, which lets me kind of preserve my momentum for almost as long as I want until I hit the ground. It also gives me slightly lower terminal velocity, hence the gliding. And that is very useful in this run, especially if there's a section where I'm not really comfortable with the type of swinging that I want to do to get through. It allows me to go diagonally over buildings for great distances. It's very, very fun. And kind of a more recent discovery by Nate the Man, who you just saw with Toby 1, is snapback gliding, which is Basically, you flick the stick back to make Spider-Man look at the building you just swung past, and then you flick it back forward so he misses that swing on purpose, which lets you go into a glide. And you just saw me, it might have seemed like I just went around, at an awkward angle at the beginning of this one, but I actually went through just to get a straight line at these guys.
Better change while no one is around.
We're just breezing through these. We're already at, I believe this is 7. Sometimes it goes so fast you lose track. And
I think I should make my first delivery.
yes. I'm gonna swing off here, kind of dip on into this road, and kind of line up for a rising swing here. Will allow me to kind of just dip right here to this customer. Take a lot of fall damage, a little bit more than I wanted to, but that's alright. Sometimes Spider-Man has to sacrifice his kneecaps for the cause. And back to the topic of flipping the pizzas, there are actually like a few different ways to kind of cancel that. For example, the way that it works is as long as the animation for the flip ends before the end, you will not flip the pizzas. So if I swing out of it, if I land before the flip animation ends, or pretty much anything else to cancel that animation, no flip. So I'm going to be doing that a few times, although it is a bit scary to try to do repeatedly in a marathon setting, but we'll see. And again, you know, if you flip the pizza too many times, you have to start the mission over, which is not great for a speedrun. Not gonna lie. Do a quick launch off this wall to kind of line myself here. And what you just saw there was, yes, a construction worker ordering pizza to the construction site on the wall, which I don't know how they expect not Spider-Man to do that. So there's a lot of debate over whether or not Mr. Aziz, Spider-Man's boss, knows that he's Spider-Man and is actually just like exploiting him, knowing that that no matter what type of ridiculous pizza errands he sends him on, he'll get the job done. I personally subscribe to that belief.
No one's around. I better change while I have a
But now that you've seen those construction workers, they're gonna start showing up everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure this next one is just all construction workers. And we're gonna see at the start here, the technique that I like to call the big glide, or at least I'm gonna go for it. Kind of awkward setup. Okay, still kind of got it. It's basically just to glide off that building, and there's like a lot of times they want you to go into this area, and I'm going to try to set it up in the same way for the big glide, which will be better results next time. This is quite a fun one. You got this guy up here. I'm gonna try to land like straight on him. Perfect. Go for another quick glide to get back to the parlor. So now we're at Pizza 10. We're already halfway done. Maybe, again, not in time. But this is where you start to see some more sadistic level design. The placing in Pizza 10 for these people is a bit awkward for sure. I'm going to do my best to navigate it. For starting off with this one, try to line up the swing so I land right next to them. I'll line up an arcing swing into a wall sprint, climb up here, and then jump off. I'm going to try to swing off this. This one is kind of in this little crater in the buildings. Swing right into the wall to meet up with them. I'm going to try to... okay. Sometimes you can get a drive-by where you just deliver without stopping with those, but in the case that doesn't work, you can just go to fix that with a web zip. A very good momentum stopping tool that kind of just lets you redirect your momentum wherever you want. Now we're going to Pizza Mission 11, which is my personal least favorite, which should be apparent why, unless I play like a legend. There are all these construction workers on the side of this wall of buildings up here, and their positioning, trying to like get a good swing, can be a bit tricky for sure. To like, often you have to kind of stop here, give them the pizza, and then try to get your momentum going as best as you can. Okay, this one's a bit better. As you can see there, they don't really care about you having a direct line to give them the pizza. They can just pick up the pizza through the floor. They're I don't know. There's something off with these construction workers. You know, if I'm taking superpowers, I wouldn't. Taking pizzas through the floor wouldn't be my first choice, but you know, better than nothing. But straight from my least favorite into my personal favorite is 12. Some really cool movement in this one. Hopefully I can show it off. We're going to start with the second instance of the big glide, or at least I'm going to try to, and just go into some more cool movement from there.
I'll start there.
Here we go.
I have to rein in the stunts. Pizza's gonna be
Yeah, there we go. Gonna dip right into this alley. Barely make it onto this building. This jump. Look at the pizzas more than I want to. Ooh, one jostle left. That's, yeah, I gotta play careful. You can see the pizza's not in great shape. One more jostle will kill it. And then this person is the first, like, actually pretty ridiculous. They're just, like, on a boat. And they didn't even have the audacity to meet Spider-Man, you know, off the boat. But, definitely not the most ridiculous one that we'll see as far as the placement of these people. That one will be saved for the last mission. Those of you who have played this, probably know what I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to start off Pizza 13 with the big glide.
I'll start there.
The low ones this time, but got it all the same. That lets me set up to swing here. Try to line up with this guy. Then I'm just gonna kind of dip over to this street to line myself up for the next one. Get some height here. Try to like dip over and web zip across. Launch myself off this. And this one, I'm gonna try to avoid taking the fall damage here and just swing through. Yep, that doesn't always work. It is very tight timing. And then, you know, here's a reasonable person. That person did not order the pizza to their... tell me to go up to their work site, 60 feet off the ground. Just kind of dip over sideways here. Into 14, and I swear not every pizza mission is gonna start this way. They're not all gonna start with the big glide, but this one is. This one's also gonna do it.
That looks like a good place to make my first.
Other one I can kind of, yeah, depending on how the glide goes, I can kind of dip across sideways there. This one, the first guy, is a bit further than the ones you're used to. As the pizza missions go on, you end up kind of going further and further into the city as Mr. Aziz realizes the power that you wield and starts accepting people that are further and further away and saying, oh yeah, Joe's 29-minute guarantee. Totally. Get some height to get over this building, and then use the wall to kind of line myself up with this guy. Or girl, rather. And then one last one over here by the warehouse. Small, like, tiniest little glide just to get me the momentum that I need to, like, get some buildings, because that area is a little bit deprived of them. As you go back in pizza percent history, the further back you go, the more you see people really struggling with that area of the map, which just doesn't have buildings, which is kind of where gliding comes in. It's a great tool to let you get over them. This one, it's gonna look like I'm setting up for the big jump, but I'm actually gonna miss that swing and go for a backup off this tree, and then I'm gonna go for another frame perfect launch here. Didn't get it, but I'm still not in a bad spot. Web zip over here and then go for a drive-by. Got it. And this is 15. Pizza 15 is kind of where things get rough. A lot of casual players give up here, just flat out. I've seen a lot of new time pizza percent runners just kind of not finish their runs after getting here. I did get the launch there. I don't know why 15 is... It's way harder than 16 for sure, and probably the third hardest mission. But if you're practiced enough, it's not that bad. Kind of get myself over here. Flip the pizza, that's alright. Turns out that the customers really don't care what condition the pizza's in as long as it's not total soup. They will totally still give you the same tip regardless of the condition of the pizza. You know, you could argue like maybe they didn't open the pizza to see the condition, but they open it, the animation has them open it right away, so I guess they just don't care as long as it's Spider-Man delivering it and the pizza is still in one piece of some sort.
All the world is my dressing room.
But again, going into Pizza 16 here, it's gonna look like I'm setting up for that same glide. But because this first guy is actually down this alleyway, or this road rather, I'm just going to take that instead. Jump out. Peace out over here, and then swing off the helicopter for style. So it did kind of mess up my plan there. But for a bonk there, sometimes you can just kind of bonk off the bottom of the construction workers' platforms, and it will just kind of count it. Did not in that case, but probably not the last time you're going to see me go for it. And this one, I kind of like to just bounce against the building and then jump over, because this entire this building is kind of weird. I'm actually going to swing off of this tree instead of the building, because the building just kind of doesn't like to be swung off of for some reason. Same thing in 90%, I don't know why. It just just doesn't like to be swung off from that angle. I do a glide to get back here. Sort of a drive-by there, kind of got cut on the lip, but that's fine. And we are getting into, like, the end game already. We're on to pizza 17 of 20. Which is kind of a weird one, because, you know, I'm going to be going to the left here, and it's going to look like I'm just taking the straight line, you know, all the way down. And for a while, you know, this is very comfortable movement until you bonk into the wall. You know, just taking a straight line down. But then towards the end, it gets kind of messy. So I'm going to go for a glide to kind of go over these buildings. You know, the movement in this game, if you haven't figured it out, is like, it's all skill, but it's also all improv, which I think is kind of unique in the speedrunning scene, because nobody's perfect, so you're gonna mess up, and it's up to you to use the movement tools that this game provides to fix your mistake. And that's the fun of this game. That's where it turns into my favorite speed game. But yeah, this mission just gets a little bit awkward. I had to go over there and around here. I'm actually going to drop down here and try to swing off the building to get a glide. Depending on how that glide goes, I tend to go a few different ways. Decided this time to go over these buildings instead of around. Something that you might have just noticed that gives me incredible anxiety throughout the entire run is Mr. Aziz's pizza place here is right by the water, and if you fall into that water, that is an instant mission fail. Restart.
Good place to
Do not collect $200. So that's something I have to constantly be worried about the whole way through. But with good movement, it can certainly always be avoided. Go through here. There's a good bonk right there. Go for, like, okay. Went for glide there, didn't get it, but that's honestly, like, doesn't make a difference at all. Dip down here to give this guy his pizza. Here's another one where the routing might seem a little bit weird. You might think I'm kind of forgetting those two back there, but really it just kind of works out better to get this guy first and then kind of zigzag your way across. Because you're going back a little bit. You can think of it as going back vertically, but not horizontally, which is kind of what matters more here. It's just less distance. Go around here. Straight to this one, the rare not construction worker customer here.
All right. An empty delivery bag means it's time to head back.
Swing off this building, get a little glide. We're back into the final two. And we're up to Pizza 19, which in my opinion is the hardest one. A lot of people will tell you this. For some reason, Pizza 19 is just the hardest one. You'll probably see why as we go through it here.
Think I should make my first.
I'm going to start by going off to the left here. And I'm going to follow, kind of depends on my mood. I feel like I'm going to take this road here. Because we're going to Central Park, which anybody will tell you that the swinging here is kind of weird, which is why I went for that glide there. And here you have this person who decided to just chill out by the water. Again, you know, one step too far there, I fall in and the run ends. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that Central Park movement went. Sometimes you just get stuck in the trees, and once you're stuck, it is hard to get unstuck unless you're quite good. This guy is invisible. I don't know why. It'll take a second to appreciate that. There we go. Just always invisible. He has a pair of hands as he holds the pizza. Just the game decided not to render him today. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm gonna swing off this one. This last, or I said this last one, but there's like 3 left. This one up here is definitely a bit tricky. Gonna wall sprint up, swing around, dip down. And the green parts of this building you just can't swing off of, so I'm actually jumping back and around to set up for a glide, which I got. Very happy about that glide. My success rate with that has not been amazing, but it's also kind of a newer strat. Oop. There's another example of what can cause you to flip the pizza. If you take too much fall damage, you'll splat on the ground there. Obviously not ideal. Sometimes through in the theater district here, yeah, that helicopter, I swung low on purpose to avoid it because I had a feeling that it's a consistent timing, and I had a feeling that if I went high, I was just going to bonk into it with the pace that I was on. So pretty glad I decided to go low because I think it would have killed me. And I'm going to go for a glide all the way back here, right to the pizza parlor. Brings us to Pizza 20. And anybody who's done Pizza 20 will tell you about this first customer that I'm going to be stopping by. Some speedruns don't start with this one, but for obvious reasons, or reasons that will become obvious very soon, I'm going to start with it. And you'll see right there, some insane person decided to order to their buoy. I don't even know if it's their buoy. Don't ask me. Again, I don't know. I'm just the delivery boy. But pretty happy that I got it, because that jump can be kind of tricky. No matter how many times you do it, it's scary. And again, if you fall in, that's a mission fail, which is why I decided to start with it. I'm gonna be swinging over and across. Sometimes, yeah, you get stuck in your movement like that. Over here, you know, it might make sense to start with the other one, because the other one is geographically closer to where I was before, but I'm going to start with this one, because this one that I'm going to now lets me be on top of the building, which is a great setup for the movement that I'm going to be doing out of this delivery. I can swing off this building, go for a glide, I got it. And then kind of set up, land right on here, drop down this construction worker, and we are nearing up on the final delivery. If I can set it up here, get a good arcing swing to get some height there into a wall sprint. I'm gonna go try to just run off of it. He grabbed it, very happy. A couple big glides here. Oop, missed the second one, but there's a backup. Kind of. There we go. Huge glide over a ton of the city. We don't want to be there. And time will be as soon as I touch the delivery icon. 3, 2, 1, time. Comes up quite quick, doesn't it?
You did all right this time. Maybe I'm
But yeah, that's pizza percent.
You will have a bright future here.
I'm glad you're happy, Mr.
I hope you all enjoyed the ride. Hope you're enjoying the Toby block. If you're interested, you know, look up the Spider-Man 2 leaderboards, join the Spider-Man speedrunning Discord. Have a good one. Hope you enjoy Strudel's Spider-Man 3 run.